All right, everyone. Welcome to the lunch break here at FNGO this Wednesday, August 13th, hump day. Definitely 100% a hump day. So give it a few minutes for you guys to get on. I was a couple of seconds late because of my coffee. My coffee pot wasn't kicking, but we're here. We're here. A little bit under the weather today, too. We're just going to power right through it. I don't know. What's for lunch? Ham sandwich, mixed veggies for me, and a diet Dr. Pepper. What's up, Cody Campbell? And Danny, that's so funny. I'm serious. Yesterday, I finally figured out that was you. It was like a light bulb went off. You guys on TikTok, appreciate you guys stopping by just to spend a little time of your day with me, or me spending time of my day with you, whichever way you want to look at it. What's up, Doug? But if you guys listen, hey, if you saw the live well last night, if you're lucky enough to see that, great show last night. Two absolutely fantastic up and coming anglers from Montevello, Dalton Head, and Brody Robinson. Not Robinson, Robinson. No N. I messed that up, but I learned and I can be taught. Uh, man, it kind of leads into what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about today. It was a good show last night, Doc Holiday, and I really enjoyed it. I always love meeting new guys, especially the young guys, because they're the future of the sport. And I met Dalton down at ICAST, and he was a super nice guy. I met him at the line cutters party, and I was glad to finally get him on the show. And then Brody last night, actually the first time that I met him was when the show started. So it was really cool. What's up, Tracy Coker? Cody Campbell says, Black Shear was not kind to me this morning. Well, why wasn't it? What was wrong with it? What happened that made it not kind to you? I got to figure out. Guys, when I say hump day, I'm telling you, absolute hump day. Just one of them days. You know that Limp Bizkit song? I'm not going to sing it right here, but you know what I'm talking about. It was a good show. Coleman Jones, afternoon, gents, back from Alaska, but got COVID and sick now. I'm a little down on my luck. Listen, Coleman, I'm sorry you got COVID, but I don't feel sorry for you a bit because you went to Alaska. Very hard for me to have sympathy for you because you went to Alaska. But in all seriousness, dude, I hope you feel better. Had 10 bites, landed a grand total of 3 fish. Well, that happens. That absolutely happens. And what's up, John G? And all you guys coming in and out on TikTok and all that, we hope you'll stay around for a little bit and join the conversation. Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this today. What's up, Silver Punk, Stephen Guthrie? We're going to talk about life choices and excuses, and you'll see where I'm going with this. That has to deal with these young anglers. Okay. Also, we're going to talk about our last meal. If we were on death row, what is the last meal that you would want? And then, if we get to it, we'll talk about the fall transition. Because the fall transition, last night or yesterday, I can't remember if it was on the lunch or last night's show. It might have been a combination of both. Guys are seeing a lot of stuff happening early this year. I mean, when was the last time we started talking about lakes possibly turning over this early in the year? I don't remember ever doing it, but it was part of the conversation last night. So we'll talk about, I mean, if the lake's getting ready to turn over, we better start talking about the fall transition at some point. We'll definitely cover it tomorrow night on the live well. I'm working on the guest. We'll see who it is. But we're going to talk about that fall transition because it is a time that can be tough for a lot of guys. But you know how we start things off here? I got my coffee finally. That's why I was a couple of seconds late. My coffee maker was running a little slow. Let me give you this day in history, some useless information for you guys. All right. Today in 1995, Hall of Famer Mickey Mantle passed away at the age of 63 from liver cancer. Now, I'm a little older than a lot of you guys. Mickey Mantle was one of them heroes, whether you liked him or loved him or whatever, but, he was part of the Yankees back in the day. And I'm telling you, he was one of those bigger than life characters of baseball. And apparently had an interesting life off the field. That's all I can say. You learn a lot of stuff once you get grown up. And, when you're a child or a kid growing up, you got your images of all the people. And then as you get older, you kind of figure out what kind of person they were. Not saying it was bad, all bad, but, Mickey passed away on this day in 1995. Now, here's one I didn't know. Okay, maybe you guys have heard this before, but I had zero idea. Okay, my wife is a big Elvis fan, and I know a lot of you guys out there, especially you older ones. Doc Holliday, I'm talking to you. I'm just kidding, but no, I'm not really. I'm not. But y'all loved Elvis. My wife loves Elvis and Conway Twitty for some reason, whatever. But I learned this today. In 1952, Big Mama Thornton recorded the song Hound Dog 4 years before Elvis Presley, his version came out. I did not know that you ain't nothing but a hound dog. I did not know that that was a cover. I didn't know it was a cover. How many of you guys out there knew that? You can go on YouTube and check her out. Now when that says Big Mama Thornton, she's big. She's a big girl. But it's a very more bluesy, soulful version than what Elvis sang. Elvis's was a little more fast and rock and rolling. But I'm telling you, Big Mama Thornton, she pounded it out. It was pretty good. Conway Twitty ain't stepping nowhere near my mama or grandmother. That's right, Messick. She wrote that song. Hudden Saul said that on TikTok. I didn't know that. I had no clue. I heard that different. I don't know what you heard that different. But I didn't know that. Real Michael, he's 35 there. He didn't know that. But I saw that on this day in history today, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go to YouTube and check it out. And you can type in Big Mama Thornton, and it'll pop up Hound Dog, and listen to it. And like I said, a little bit different depending on what kind of music you like. You may even like that version better. Because that woman, she's putting some soul into it. She is putting some soul into it. And the words are a little different, but you get it. It's the same song. It's the same song. Pretty sure Elvis didn't write any of his own songs. Maybe not. I don't know. Trey Crenshaw met Mickey Mantle in the 4th grade at a baseball card signing event at my elementary school. Got him to sign a baseball that I still have to this day. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. What's up, Farmer? Tracy Coker says Underwood would be a good guest to talk about the fall transition. He understands the thermocline if he's available. I can reach out and see. He was just on, so he might be busy. But we talked about it a lot when we were on the water the other day. We talked about it a lot. And then last night, guys are talking about things that we don't normally talk about this time of year in August. So, anyway, there you go. Go check out Big Mama Thornton. And that's not Kevin's wife. Okay? If Kevin watches, we ain't talking about his wife. She's a sweetheart. Totally different woman. Singing it, I think it was 1952. Forrest Gump taught Elvis all his dance moves. 100%. I absolutely get it. Okay, so let's do it this way. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed the live well last night. Totally cool to get these young kids on. Before I get into that, because I'm going to get on soapbox for a while, and I don't want to do that first thing. Because number one, I don't feel the best today. So I want to work my way into this live well. And if you guys are thinking about coming by the shop after this is over, don't. Because the second this is over with, I'm telling you, I'm going home and going to bed. All right, so don't drive all the way up here and go, man, I don't understand why the shop's closed. It's because my ass is at home asleep. It's just that. It's just one of them days right there. I'm getting old, and it hits it a little different. But I was sitting there last night, laying in bed, and we've talked about it a little bit before here, but I was being very serious. Laying in bed last night, my brain doesn't shut off after we have a live well. I mean, it honestly is sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning before I go to sleep, before I finally fall into a deep sleep. And then I get up at 6, which doesn't help anything at all. And Farmer, I'll read that in just a second. But I seriously was like, what would you eat, Danny, if you had one last meal in your life? Wu-Tang Fan 864, what's up, brother? Haven't been watching live, but I'm all caught up as of today. Well, buddy, I'm glad you're here. But if you had one meal, and I put death row, you get one meal, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. If you get one meal, it's your last meal, what would you guys eat? Buddy, I'm with you. The allergies have kicked my butt today. I don't know what it ain't no allergies. Assassin King _YT, watching the show from my man cave. There you go. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I got a bug or something, but I'll survive. I'll survive. But if you had one meal, this was the last meal for whatever circumstance. Say the good Lord comes down and says, "Hey, you know what? At 4 o'clock today, I'm taking you. So you better eat well at 2 o'clock." What would you eat? Fish around and find out. On TikTok says steak and crab legs and a twice baked potato. Good choice. I see ribeye steak and a bottle of bourbon. Okay. Tomahawk steak from Little Alley in Alpharetta. Hey, listen, is the tomahawk steak really all the rage? I mean, are you not just paying more for the bone? Can't you just get the steak without the rest of it? Jeremy Conkright. Now that answer right there, I'm not going to read, but I thought that myself. Ribeye steak. You guys have to look at it in the comments section. Good choice, Jeremy Conkright. Ribeye steak, sweet potatoes, garlic bread, milkshake, going out with a bang, says Jonah. Texas Roadhouse rolls. They're pretty good, Mendel, for sure. Roast beef. Okay, so Eric B. Richards, I can tell he's a country boy right here. Roast beef, gravy, and a biscuit. Strickling, fried okra. That bone don't add no more flavor. That's a marketing gimmick, Alex. I'm telling you, that meat tastes like meat. You have fallen for the marketing gimmick. My own marinated short ribs and fried rice. Interesting choice. But the bone and ribeyes are awesome. I'm just giving y'all a hard time. Now, Dave Aldridge, right there. Dave was on the show last night. Here's what I was thinking. A good crawfish etouffee and a good solid bowl of red beans and rice. I am going to go out Cajun. I'm going to go out Cajun. And especially if I'm on death row and they're gonna put the whatever it is to me, I just want to shit myself. But no, that's what I would go. Absolutely. I would absolutely go with that. Good solid cheeseburger. Classic. Can't go wrong with that. Silver Punk. A bottle of Pappy 23 prime rib, medium rare, baked mac and cheese biscuits, and gravy pecan pie. Okay, that's pretty good. The bone marrow and the bread. I get it, Alex. I get it with that. I'm just messing with you. A rack of ribs, a ribeye, twice baked potato, a salad with a side of ranch and 1,000 Island, and a slice of my mama's coconut cake. Coleman Jones, Sour Patch Kids candy, a Mountain Dew, a Monster Energy, and some gummy worms. That sounds about like somebody your age, man. But Jerry said, okay, good. After his wife comment, he said he's going to go with the prime rib. Ron McQueen says boiled crawfish too. Yeah. Stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut and barbecue wings from Buffalo Luke's. And you guys on TikTok, hey, what would you eat if it's your last meal? Throw it out there. All of these anglers and no one chose fish. No one chose fish. That's a very good assessment right there. You caught that. And Alex does love him some Sour Patch Kids. Every once in a while, Alex will bring some Sour Patch Kids up here when he's running the boards and all that. Them things are addicting. Like you just throw one in your mouth, just, hey, so you've been dipping all day, coffee, you just want to chunk it in your mouth, and somebody throws, hands you that Sour Patch Kid, but you got to have another one. Fried chicken, mashed tater, white gravy, fried cornbread, pound cake, and a diet Dr. Pepper. You know what? Because you drink diet stuff like I do, because steak is better than fish. Yes, it is. But Purdue right there, like your thing, that's what people, they'll see the food I got on my plate, Sour Patch Kids, but the watermelon ones are the best. You fixed your camera, I see, and boy, all of a sudden TikTok just started going crazy. So if I missed your comment, you guys throw it back up there because all of a sudden just like 30 of them went boom out of nowhere. What's in the cup? Coffee. But anyway, Danny, I was talking about yours. Like I'll have all this stuff out here, just fried everything if we go out to eat. Can you give me a Coke Zero or a Pepsi Zero? Chandler Irwin, honestly, some fried crappy homemade hush puppies with jalapenos. Good choice in them. Maybe some catfish too. And then Hogan goes, how's your day going? It's going, we're getting through it. We're powering through it. But yeah, just straight coffee. Don't eat fish much. You know what? I don't really eat a lot of fish. Jordan G, I heard food before I got here. Yeah, it is food, no doubt. We're going to talk about some other stuff, but right now it's what would your last meal be if you were leaving this earth? If the good Lord was taking you home in 2 hours and you had to eat something, black coffee or sugar? I got a little bit of creamer in it, no sugar. But black, I'm still working on the black. Titus Williams says my ex. Oh, my Lord. You guys. That's so wrong. But Honestly, you're not the first person that said that or thought that. Okay, or thought that. Bruce and Tammy Arnold, not me. Spotted bass, fries, hush puppies, and coleslaw made by Mrs. Freeze. Uh, let's see. Walleye. If I went for fish, it'd be walleye or crappie. They're gonna have to shock me twice anyway, Trey. I keep gaining weight because of all that junk. Coleman, yeah, you're a real big boy. You're buy BTs. Yeah, I get what you're saying out there. When I eat fish, it's usually from a sushi bar. Hogan says last meal on earth: crawfish, fried shrimp, steak, and sushi. And Jordan said, "Well, if that guy's X is good, maybe I'll have to try that too." Well, Titus, hey, Jordan just wants to know if you can spread it around, buddy. I mean, it is X. And then, oh yeah, Tracy Coker, once you go black, good Lord, boys like that. Y'all are killing me right there. And I don't feel good. Don't make me laugh right now. Fishing a tournament on Smith Saturday. Wish you luck. Absolutely. Titus, go kick some butt, dude. Just understand. It's a deep lake. That's a really deep lake out there. Coffee. Oh, you're talking about coffee, Tracy Coker. Once you go black. Listen. Some sushi does sound good right now. I might. Titus, hey, listen, Jordan, he basically said she's crazy. You're on your own. Hey, I missed a live last night. Listen this morning. I got questions, Aaron Parker. Throw it out there, buddy. Throw it out there. The TikTok comments are golden right now, especially when he said he could have his ex right there. All right, so see you, DP. You guys be good. But yeah, I think personally, sushi would be good if my stomach ain't quite feeling up to it today. But now let me ask you this: are we talking gas station sushi or grocery store sushi, or are we talking sushi where they like cut the fish up right in front of you? Because I'm telling you what's up, Collins? I like just, I don't care where it's made. I like sushi better in the summertime, especially if it's coming. Incoming Galaxy. I don't know what that means. Out on the gas station sushi. I fished out on Smith about 200 times. I caught them in 100 plus. That's crazy. Publix has great sushi, fresh, authentic sushi. How many of y'all actually use chopsticks? I do not. I use a fork on my hands, and I look like a barbarian. My wife says that too. She goes, "You look like a barbarian when you eat." And I'm like, when's the last barbarian? When have you ever met a barbarian? How do you know how they eat? But, I mean, if I go up here – now, listen, I tell you what I don't like. Sushi is refreshing. Publix has $5 Sushi Wednesday. Yeah, I know. And you guys throwing a hat and a mustache on me, I ain't got no clue what that means. But I think we might do the Publix sushi today if I feel like it later on. Small Japanese man hand rolling it, replacing it with all of his L's with R's. You guys ain't right. You guys ain't right. I do like some sushi. What's up, Underwood? But anyway, yeah, I mean, sushi would be good. I always watch on YouTube, and I hear you say, I don't know what a Galaxy is, but they say I need to ask for one. So I sent one. Well, there you go. You guys, last time I asked for Galaxies, which I still don't know exactly what they are on TikTok, I offered to do something, and apparently I broke TikTok's rules. So I don't ask for them no more. The hat and the mustache is a gift. There you go. Okay, somebody gave me a gift. Go catch some bass and make sushi. Now listen. You gotta have a saltwater fish. Now you can make ceviche with some freshwater stuff. I know Crappy makes some mean ceviche or ceviche, however you say it. Now I like that stuff. That's some good stuff too. What is it? I do until I drop it in the soy sauce and then I'm using my hands like Danny. Okay, they're talking about what you eat with. Dude, I just grabbed that stuff. Now what's that little green stuff they put in there? Tastes like it's got horseradish in it or something. I mean, it's like it will light you up. I know people who eat tuna fresh out of the sea. I will, 100%. Hey, you gave me $10. Thank you. Wasabi. Okay, wasabi. Now, I've heard wasabi on other, let's just say, sites, and it don't mean the green stuff in there. Wasabi. Japanese horseradish. That stuff will light you up, boys. Now, I ain't crazy about it. Now, if we go to Arby's and I get me a beef and cheddar, ranch is all you need on everything. I'm more of a blue cheese guy, but I get the ranch. I can't do sushi without wasabi. They say Danny has been eating my flukes and sushi rolls. I know. It's pistachio ice cream, though. No, it ain't no pistachio ice cream. But if I go to Arby's and I order me a beef and cheddar or something like that, I like their horsey sauce. I mean, it'll clear the nostrils. It's got a little bit of that in there, but that green stuff that they stick in there, it's like, my goodness. And then, like, if I rush up here and get some because the local store has it, and I'm flying back because the shop's closed when I go get lunch, and it spills over or something, and that green stuff gets all over that, I'm telling you what, it's just like I'm in here, my backside is puckered up. Now I can breathe. I can breathe. Haven't been to the store in a while. Am I still selling swim bait or glide baits? I got some John Sarah's in here. They've been going. I sold a bunch of his baits. And again, guys, if you're in the area and you got some stuff that you want, dragon snot, and you want to put on consignment, bring it in here. Because I'm telling you, guys come in here and the first thing they look at is what's hanging on the little consignment section. And there ain't a ton there yet, and it's growing. But if you don't want to mess with Facebook Marketplace and all that stuff, bring it here. Do you ever have people try and come in while you're on your live? Yeah, but I got the door locked. And here's the thing, Nick D. I got this big yellow sign that says store closed from 11:30 because I have to prep till about 1:30. And they will look at the sign, and I'll physically watch them read the sign and then try to open the door. And I'm just like, what do you do? At that point, what do you do? Let's see. When you eat that shad, that would basically be some redneck sushi. If people will bring me a live shad on the live well, I keep telling you, I'm not going to go buy it. But I will eat it. I'll try it. Silver Punk. I tried Dave's chicken rig yesterday and hooked one in 3 casts. Going to try it again today. That chicken rig is the bomb. You let them join the live with Nick D, you ain't seen some of the people who live around here. I guess it depends. So like on Fridays, my buddy, Ken Pruitt, Ken, I hope your boss ain't watching, but he likes to leave a little early on Fridays. And so he goes, I'll be there before 12. And he sits here and the camera's not on him, but I let him sit. I would let people sit in depending on the person. That chicken rig is legit, guys. I'm telling you. What's your next guest going to be? I don't know. Sometimes, listen, you guys, I'll call. Kevin said he'll bring me a shad. Would you buy it if somebody cash apped you the money for it? No, dude, I got to leave. It ain't a cost thing. It's like I would have to go all the way over to Hammond's, buy it, then bring it all the way back here and eat it. So somebody that wants to come up here, they drive by Hammond's or one of these other places, they can bring it to me. And then I'll eat it. I'll taste it. And remember why we're doing that. Because you guys, Hogan's got his hands up. Hogan, you want to be on? Is that what you're saying? Or you want to buy a shad? Which one do you want to do? The only reason we're talking about eating that thing is because you guys both. Okay. What are we going to talk about, Hogan? You guys say that when I question why do you put garlic scent on any of your baits, all you guys say, have you ever bitten a live shad? Kayak fishing. We might can do a kayak fishing episode. Let's do it on a Tuesday night. On a Tuesday night, we'll do kayaks. Because that way Alex will be here. And Alex runs the board. He's a kayak guy. Everybody else is not kayak guys. So that would be, okay, we'll do that. Alex, next, it would take him away from the store over an hour. Yeah. Not big on the garlic scent. But what they're telling me is if you bite a live shad, I just told him, Alex, Hogan, hey, Hogan, go ahead. We're going to do, you can be on next Tuesday night. We'll do a kayak episode. We ain't done one in a while. Last time we did a kayak episode, I got a free kayak out of it. But anyway, and we'll talk about eat a herring. Nick D says so, but that's why. And fish around and find out. Said I'd love a show on kayak fishing next Tuesday night. We are going to do a kayak live well. How about that? We'll go ahead and set it in stone. It's going to be kayak night. What's up, traveling fishermen? I think you need a sample platter, a gizzard, a thread fit, and a herring. But you guys are the one that says if I bite into it, I'm going to get a herring taste. I mean, not a herring taste, a garlic taste. And I personally think you guys are crazy. I don't believe it, but I will try it for science. Hogan, don't be giving away all that hickory log juice if you go on a show. Listen, hickory log ain't got no juice. Wu-Tang fan, I had a vacuum cleaner that didn't work. I put a cowboy sticker on and now it sucks again. Well, okay. I should have read that comment before I went all the way in. I did find a herring in a can at local food line. It made me think of y'all, hot and spicy. I don't think that would be it. Tyler Burke, Danny, always up for a taste testing. That's my gig, dude. That's my gig. I will get Tim Hancock. Um, I will get Tim Hancock back on when he gets feeling better. Loved your guest last week. Of course, I have my favorite, Robin O'Connell. Yeah, listen. I tell you what, Matt. I love Matt. I love Matt Death, and he does have the prettiest hair in all of fishing. He does have the prettiest hair. Now I can't do a smell thing because ever since the first round of COVID, I can't smell. If you guys watch any episode of our TV show and I'm sitting there with a bottle of wine or something and I'm doing that, guys, I am lying my butt off. Titus says he's got better hair than Matt. I don't know. Got that Lord Farquhar hair. I think you're going to get a nasty taste. Think bass swallow them whole, not to chew them up. Oh, he meant hard labor. Now, hard labor is different. I thought you meant hickory log. Well, yeah, well, we can talk hard labor. I've been there before. But I can smell, like if I open a jar of JJ's or something really strong garlic, I get about half a second and I can tell it's garlic. If someone out here has something that really stinks or something, the way my brain processes it now is like I can tell there's a smell in the air. But that's it. I cannot tell you what it is. I just know that something either smells really, really good or something really, really stinks, but it's all neutral to me, which is really weird. But it didn't affect my taste buds that much, except for after I got COVID. After I got COVID, I started doing things and eating things that I did not eat prior, and I enjoyed it, that I didn't eat prior to COVID. Okay? Olives, green olives. I wouldn't have touched an olive 5 years ago to save my life. I'll eat 5 jars of green olives and blue cheese right now. Off topic, but have you ever been down on the Chick? I've been to Chick a couple times. I enjoyed it while I was there. I didn't do no frog fishing. Now, yum yum, yeah. Listen, it does help with that. That Tracy Coker, that Swedish canned fish that makes everybody get sick. Yeah, well, I thought about doing that. I thought about doing that when Ryan and all them were on here. Right about the time we did the that really hot chip challenge, that one chip challenge thing, that I won. And also, too, guys, seriously, while I'm at it, keep Ryan Sheffield. Keep him in your thoughts and your prayers. He had a little emergency surgery, got a few things going on with him, and I think he's on the mend. But still, he's got a wife and a kid, so I hope everything is okay with him because, he is one of my big buddies, and so I really hate that. So, Brian, if you ever watch if you ever watch this, we're thinking about your big dog, and you didn't answer my text. Okay, I'm kind of upset that you didn't answer my text. Message later about Tuesday, 100%. Let's set it up. But I didn't eat, let's see. And as far as Chick, you know what I caught him on Chick when I was up there? Morning dawn worm. Seriously, morning dawn worm. Either on a drop shot or I put it on a Ned rig head, one of our weedless Neds that we make. And anywhere there was a bluff wall, chunked that puppy over there because they were pulling some current and let it drift, almost like really slow trout fishing. And all of a sudden, they go, da-dunk, and there it was. With the exception of the day of the tournament, we pre-fished for a couple of days, and then we had the tournament on Saturday. I think we took third or fourth. It was a tough day there, but we needed one really big fish because I had caught a couple of 5-pounders in practice. And so I'm on the back of my cousin's boat, we're on his boat, and I'm looking at his console, and I see these arches, 2D on the back of the boat, and I'm going, oh, there they are, right by a bluff wall. Had a morning dawn drop shot right off the back of the boat. It goes down. I get it set. I'm sitting there just holding it, and all of a sudden I hear that doo-doo. Raise into him. There he is. Oh, I've got big bass, big bass for the tournament. This thing's a monster. And then in about 15 seconds in, you guys know the drill. It starts rolling. Crap. Big old catfish. Robin O'Connell, you hit on something. Wives, girlfriends, parents of fishermen. And the next time have Matt bring you Brewer's Fire Mad Greek sauce. Amazing. Did I mess up? Did I say something bad, Robin, when I said something about wives, girlfriends, and parents? because I don't remember. And I really hope it wasn't bad. But I think one time he brought some hot sauce. But I can't remember if it's that one. But yeah, listen, I'll try anything. What's better, a glide bait or a swim bait? Depends on the body of water you're on. That's one of those questions. Is like, where are you at? Where are you at? When are you going to get a meal back on? As soon as, and here's, no, it's an idea. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Listen, everybody wants me to put my wife on this show with me. No way. No way in the world is my wife coming on the show with me. Number one, because she'll start dropping secrets. And number two, we will argue about fishing. And she's funny. Don't get me wrong. My wife is a hoot. She's a good time. I just don't know that I'm that brave. But I might need to do that. But we might, we talked about one time just letting the women take over the live well. My wife, Tony's wife. We could get Kevin's wife on. Tiffany can run the boards. Tim can pit, and just let them have a show. It might be a good time, especially if they've had a, little of that. But as far as a meal and all the elite guys that I've talked to, like Fighter and all them that have said they'll come on the show, I'm just letting them get done with their season. I'm not one of the guys that likes to reach out to the pros. Oh, my Junkin farmhouse. Yes, that's Tony's wife. It would be a great time. Yeah, I've seen you, girl. I know how you act. You and my wife get together. Not behind my microphone. It would be fun, though. We might do that one day. We might do that. But I like when the pros are fishing, they're so busy. I just think I like to kind of respect them a little bit more and not reach out to them and say, hey, can you come on my show? And I know a lot of guys would like that, would like me to do that. I just feel like, man, their time is so precious during the tournaments that I just want to let them be. And I talk to Drew Cook from time to time. And if he's got a couple weeks off, he's going to his house, see his family. I don't want to mess with him and get him on the show. So once they have their last event and their life kind of settles back down, when Emil and Paul come back down here to Georgia, you got to try to get him before Paul goes off duck hunting. He'll be duck hunting every day. But Fighter with his turkey and all that stuff. That's when I like to try to get the pros on. I figure we can handle it and watch them. Now, guys like Rob that fish the NPFL, Rob, he's a little easier to get a hold of for me. Like I can just call Rob right now and I get him. And Rob loves the show. And Emil and them love the show too. Emil said he always has fun when he comes on here. So we'll get him on. But I just want to wait just a little bit. Let him get this last thing. Because now, like talk to Trey McKinney. I'm going to get McKinney back on, but I'm not going to mess with him right now before he's going into that last tournament, Anglers of the Year, the AOI and everything. I promise you that boy's focused, which is going to lead into what I'm going to talk about in a second. There's a guy on TikTok that lets his wife narrate his fishing videos, and they're pretty funny. I might try that. Hey, try Kyle Patrick. He's not doing nothing. That man. Kaz is the one I would like to see. Kaz has been on quite a few times. But the last time he was on, I think Clinton and ran the show. I wasn't in. I love Kaz Anderson. Oh, Kaz. I can't do his voice as good as Clint. But Kaz is good. Which, let's roll into what I was going to talk about today. And some of you guys may agree with me, may not agree with me. Okay, I see something about pig brains. I ate some pig brains on the show one time. It tastes like potted meat. And then fried chicken livers are the bomb. What's the best country song to listen to when fishing? I didn't have that question on my bingo card today. Anything by Hank Jr.? Hank Jr. is the man. Anything by Hank Jr. Something catchy. You look at it. That's funny. Way to play it, Traveling Fisherman. That's pretty good. Something catchy. Y'all ever seen the Porch Cast? The guys that do a taste test of off the wall stuff and end up gagging their way through it. I haven't seen it. I like Boys in the Hood. Titus Williams says Hank and a little George. Listen, I'm gonna make somebody mad right here. I am not a George Strait fan. And the race is on George Jones. Now, okay. Now, are you talking about George Jones or George Strait? George Jones, I can handle. George Strait, I would rather sit through an insurance seminar than watch George Strait in concert. You talking about, I mean, I've seen video. You talking about boring. George Jones is good. Now, I can do George Jones. But George Strait, I'm serious. I mean, don't get me wrong. He got some good songs. But he's got to be the whitest man in the history of the world, just up there with his guitar and just boom, da doom, da doom, da doom, da doom. Boring. Good music, good content. Boring to watch live. Maybe some Keith Whitley. Yeah, Keith Whitley was good. I don't like to listen to music while fishing. Where you fish at, dude, it would mess you up. George Strait is like watching paint dry. Let's see. Messick's talking about, I don't know what you talk about, Messick. You'd like to try some. Closest thing I've had to that would be liver pudding. I'm ready for dove season. That's delicious too. What's your guys' go-to nighttime spinnerbait? It's a Georgia Blade. Any Georgia Blade, big Colorado. I sell them here at the shop, but that's just, I don't have to try anything else. It works. Big Colorado, single Colorado blade, a lot of different colors that work at night from black to blue. Got your reds, those kind of things in there. You have your choice of a nickel spoon or a copper, brass, whatever you want to call it, spoon, and a black spoon. I would rather go to a timeshare convention for night, big Colorados. The name is Georgia Blade. Yep, Georgia Blade. They don't sell directly, but if you go to fngo.com, we can you can see that list because I'm redoing our site, and it's the only spinnerbait I got on there right now is the Georgia ones. We were talking about pig brains. Pig brains are good. Now, Alex Purvis says the Battle Bait single Colorado. He likes that. I can't do anything when fishing but fish. But if I'm going to listen to some music, and it's going to be country, what's the site? fngo.com. That's our site. And just hit the store link. And again, it's kind of jacked up right now, but I do know I have those spinnerbaits on there. Just go down to spinnerbaits, and the only one that's going to pop up right now is Georgia Blade. Tracy Coker says Georgia Blade makes the best nighttime spinnerbaits. War Eagle makes a good one. And listen, guys, it's just what you prefer. I just know that, first of all, if I'm being honest, I don't throw a spinnerbait at night. I'm more the crankbait guy. I will throw them, but I'd rather throw a crankbait. Georgia Blade break too easy for me, 4 or 5 fish and they're toast. Listen, Alex, it might be the operator of that because I haven't had one break on me yet. Now, granted, I ain't fished at night much this year, and I did not throw one the other night when me and Farmer were out. I've never had a Georgia Blade break on me. I'm not saying it's not possible. I've never had one. I have had War Eagles break. I have that, but I love a War Eagle spinnerbait. So, I mean, and it's 6XD at night for Farmer says for me. That's what I'm saying. But it's kind of like, look, if you're throwing a spinnerbait, I ain't never broke a battle bait spinnerbait. Alex, are you being like a walking, talking commercial right now? I'm just playing with you, dude. And maybe you haven't. But teach his own, right? We'll have to see. I'll try your battle baits. I have no problem trying that. But I got to go fishing at night. And I was going to say something, but I didn't totally. We keep talking about spinnerbait, so I've absolutely lost what I was going to talk about as far as whatever was getting ready to come out of my head. I've been wondering this for a while. People have always told me that bass love the color red. Is that true? Yeah, I guess. They hit it. I'm going to miss her. Brad Paisley might be the best fishing song of all time. Spinnerbait is a weedless crankbait. Pretty much, Patricia Leanne Shaw says. Pretty much. You gave one to Tim. Okay, well, I didn't get one. How come y'all come on my show and I don't get the free baits? I give you baits. How come I didn't get a free bait? I'm just playing with you, dude. You know I am. I'll try one out. Seriously. Y'all have baits breaking in all kinds of scenarios. You can. I like the spot choker, but they need it heavy, like a 3/4 ounce, 3/4 or 1 ounce. Yeah, they probably can make it heavier at night because you don't fish. Well, listen. You better be nice to me in the comment section, Alex, or we're not going to do the kayak episode next Tuesday night. I'm just kidding. Anyone throw a solid white at night? A lot of people do, Chris Johnson, and I know Georgia Blade makes one called the Georgia Moon. It's got a white blade and white skirt and all that, which we always have that conversation. It always comes up to color at night because some people are like, I throw black because I want to be able to see the fish, to see the silhouette. And then you got the guy over here that says, you know what? Shad don't all of a sudden turn black at night. If they're white or silver during the day, they're white or silver at night. So a white spinnerbait is still going to show the same silhouette. I don't know. Color doesn't matter. Well, you know what? They also have one, Georgia Blade does, that is bubble gum. It's got a pink blade and a pink skirt. And you know what it's listed under? They're nighttime spinnerbaits. So somebody out there throws pink at night too, because I have sold them. I have sold them. Bait fish don't change color at night. Absolutely true. I don't know. I really don't think it matters. I honestly think nighttime fishing has a lot more to do with the lateral line. But guys, you know how we are. We think certain colors. We got confidence in certain colors. Alex, of course, has confidence in the battle bait spinnerbait. Strike King quarter ounce Colorado, best ever. Can't argue against you. Can't argue against you. Interesting. And I didn't have that on my bingo card to talk about today either. I didn't know we was going to get into night. Color don't matter again. Yeah, okay, I read that twice. I didn't know we were going to get into it. Here's why. What's up, Gone Fishing with Ed? Here's one I am going to get into, though, because it's bothering me. It is bothering me. And I've been guilty of it before. But as I am growing older, I am expanding my thought. I am trying to get better, like a fine glass of wine or bottle of wine or whatever. But let me tell you what gets on my nerves these days. And I got to get it out of me. I got to get it out of me. Anytime a young angler, let's say 25 and younger, does something great, does something good, is winning tournaments, whether they be national, local, whatever, there's always some guy my age or close that, number one, says I can't do it without a cheater box. That's not what this is about. But you always get that guy out there that says, well, they get to be on the water all the time. And I have to work, and I have a real job, and I have to go home and cut grass, and I've got to spend time with my wife, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. If I didn't have to do all that, I could compete with them. But because I have to do this, I can't compete with them. That is one of the most irritating things out there to me. And now here's why. And we talked about it a little bit, but it just really bothers me. And I think we talked about it a little bit on this yesterday. We all, back when let's talk about these kids that are 18, 19, 20 around here. They've made the choice to put their eggs all in one basket. We made a choice back when we were younger to get married, to do all these things. And I've even called some people out on it. It doesn't matter. They will not change their way. I saw some more comments from a couple of individuals. They don't see it. They don't see it. And it's not because these kids, or either it's daddy's money. Daddy's money. They're out there in daddy's boat. They got daddy's money. Guys, when I was in school back in the 80s, there was always those kids that had daddy's money. You know, they were the ones with the brand new Firebird Formula 350. You know, they had the brand new car and all that. That's never not been an issue. You can't say it's just now daddy's money is all of a sudden a new thing because they're off in a new bass boat. Okay, that's been an issue. Oh, yeah, Alex, we did talk about it. It still bothered me. And Alex heard me. I got very colorful. I'm 23 and fish as much as possible. My dad, who doesn't fish as much, and he always does better. It happens. But daddy's money is out there on the wake boats. But here's my point is like they're trying to say either, and I'm going to come from the old man perspective. I don't know what it is that at certain age, we are supposed to all of a sudden dislike anything younger. And I've been guilty of it, but really mostly with music because I grew up in the 80s and the music was better in the 80s. But you know what it has done? When I had that attitude real bad, it kept me from listening to music that was put out now. And there's still some good musicians out there now. And because of that really crappy attitude I had about it, I missed them. And now I'm finding out about them a little bit. And then like, I'll go home and I'll listen to a song and my kids are like, yeah, well, that came out 6 years ago. And I'm like, really? I didn't know about it because I had that attitude. Well, guys now are like that with these young kids fishing. And they make every single excuse as to why they can't get out and compete. And my thought of it is this, and I'll say it like again, a lot nicer, than what I said last night, because I can't repeat some of the things I said last night. Jeremy Concrete, travel ball come up. We talked about that. Travel ball come up. You guys know who Chad Wright is? Y'all know who I'm talking about, the old long beard Navy SEAL guy that was on Joe Rogan recently? You guys need to watch him, okay? And I mean, he's very spiritual, but he's got some really good common sense stuff. My wife bugs me because I always judge every loud vehicle that passes our house. Why do we do that? Why at certain age, BPT caught more fish without forward-facing sonar this year? I haven't seen. I saw the Get Your Fish On. I saw his thumbnail, but I ain't watched that yet, and I think that's where he was going, and maybe that's where you saw it. These kids got to bust their butts, and they've committed to it. And guys my age, in whatever it is, but we're talking specifically fishing now. We didn't when we had the opportunity, because you know what? That was not our dream back then. Our dream was to, hey, either get out of high school, get a job, get married, do whatever, go to college, whatever. But we chose what I want to say, and I'm not meaning this to be totally derogatory, but we chose the common route. Okay, the common route. And the reason I say this is, listen to this quote by Chad Wright and see if it applies to you. And then think about it with these kids who are on the water every single day because they want to fish professional one day. This is his comment. We believe and we know that we are simply common humans with an uncommon desire to succeed. Now, he's talking about himself and some other guys. They're just common men. These young kids out there are just common men, just like everybody else. What separates them, what separates the Emils and the Pauls and some of these local kids now, and like the Brody Robinson and the Dalton Heads of the world, the Nut Brothers, we talked about all of these kids, okay? All of these kids, they're just common like us, but they've got an uncommon desire to succeed. And what does that take? It takes time on the water. Now, if you're an old guy and your excuse as to why you can't fish a tournament against them is, I've got a wife, I've got a job, I've got that, get a divorce. Do you want it bad enough? Sell your house, move into an apartment. I know that's extreme. I know it's extreme, and I'm just saying that like that. But don't use that as an excuse. And I'm going to give a personal story as to, you still could get out there and compete if you wanted to bad enough at no matter what age. And this is where I messed up in life. And so here's my little, don't do what I did, especially for you young guys, okay? Don't do what I did. When I was going out of high school, I wanted to be a lawyer. You guys have noticed that I can BS. And I did mock trial in high school. I did all that stuff. I actually was pretty smart. But I wanted to be a lawyer. Now, my father, God rest his soul, and my uncle, God rest his soul, and all of them grew up in a time, they grew up poor. And so getting a good job, going to work every day, coming home, live your life, and passing away to glory, that was their life. And so I can remember telling my dad I wanted to be a lawyer, telling my uncle I wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to go to college and all that. And I got told this: world's got enough pencil pushers. You need to go learn a trade, and you'll always have a job. That security, that commonness, that security, because they didn't have it growing up. And that's what they tried to instill in me. And I did that. For 25 years. I went in the heat and air. Hated it every second of the day I did it. Couldn't stand my dad because of it. It caused a lot of, I blamed my dad for everything. I blamed him for every problem. Like, I'm not enjoying life. I'm not doing what I want to do. My dad is the one. And at some point, eventually I went, it ain't my dad's fault. Because if I'd have wanted it bad enough, if I had wanted to be a lawyer bad enough, my ass would have gone to work every day, come home, gone to college at night. It might have took longer, but if I'd have wanted it bad enough, I would have done it. And you know what? I chose common, and I didn't do it. Now, again, had I not done heat and air, I probably, might not have ever gone to the church I've gone to, might not have ever met Josh in Fish, North Georgia, might never have existed. But at the time, I mean, I was really mad at my dad. And I think a lot of guys around here are just mad because they chose a way and they're seeing people enjoying it and doing things that they want to do, but they didn't do it. How bad do you want it? I didn't want to be a lawyer bad enough to put in the extra work while working a job. And there are people out there every day who have an uncommon desire to succeed. And I didn't. Now I do now. I do now. It's something I had to grow into, but I made every excuse as to why I was not getting to do what I wanted to do. And that's what guys do now. These are the guys I'm harping on, not these kids out there that are spending 7 days a week on the water. If they have the ability, they should. If they have the dream to go fish professionally, they should be out on the water. But it's the guys my age that sit at home and they're like, well, it ain't fair. It ain't fair. Bull shit. You don't want it bad enough. You don't want to go out there and fish for a couple hours in the evening. You could cut your grass a little bit. You could do things. You could tweak some things. You could go out there and compete. You just don't want to put in the extra effort to be uncommon to do it. It's easier to sit at home and say, well, I don't want to pay $100 in that tournament because them young kids are just going to take my money anyway. That's a crock. It's an excuse. And I know I'm getting on a soapbox a little bit, but it irritates me because I lived that. I know that. I know what it is you're saying, and you got to change. If I could get paid every time I went fishing, I'd quit my job today. Tracy Coker, I would too. If I could go fishing, I'd quit my job. But they don't want to sacrifice. But look at the comments with me talking about that now. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, watch it. Watch when a young kid does something great. And I guarantee you, have to make money somewhere, Danny. Can't afford to be out there 7 days a week. But that's a choice you make, farmer. You made the choice to get married. You made the choice to have a kid. You made the choice to get a mortgage because that's what you wanted to do. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't come in here and say, well, if I could be out on the water as much as them, well, they haven't made that choice yet. They're making the choice to fish. You chose a different path. And you know what? You got a great family. And you got a good job. And it's good for you. But you also have to understand that had you been wanted to be a professional fisherman back when you were 18 or 19 years old, you should have made some different choices. Now, we all are like that. We all should have made some different choices. There's nothing wrong with getting married and having a great life and having kids and all that. It's just the guys that make that to be an excuse as to why they can't go out. And, these kids here before long, they're going to have to make the same decisions. They're either going to have to try the professional ranks or they're going to have to get a job or they're going to have to go into guiding. They're going to have to do something like that. But don't say I can't go compete with them. Go out there and compete with them. It's just, I just think when they do that, they're downgrading these kids' desire to be out on the water and fish. I mean, listen, when I was 18, 19 years old, I should have told my dad no. But also, too, I was thinking about other things in life. You got to find a way, like Tony Watkins just said, or find an excuse. If you want something bad enough, no matter what it is, whether you want to fish tournaments, whether you want to invent something, whether you want to do a podcast, whether you want to open up a tackle shop, what are you willing to risk to do it? What are you willing to risk to do it? Is it worth risking making your wife mad? I'm telling you what right now, my wife stays mad at me all the time. All the time. And she knows it. But I also tell her too, cautious people never make history. You don't read, your kids are not going to read in a book in school about a scared guy that did something great. Never said I can't compete with them. Iron sharpens iron. I don't care if you took the elites and said I had to go fish against them. I will go, so I'm going to win. Well, you should. But you also said got to make money sometime, which kind of turns into what these guys are saying. I can't do it because I got a job. If you want it, you'll go get it. You'll figure out a way. Guys, you guys don't know what kind of pay cut I took to open up Fish North Georgia, and I still ain't making no money. And it ain't about making money. It's like, you know what? I love this. It's worth it. It's going to pay off in the long run. And I'm willing to just about lose everything I got to make this work. And that's what you guys got to do. That's what these kids are doing right now. I'm 53 doing it. These kids are 18, 19. Hey, listen, go for it. These old guys, just don't sit at home and say the only reason those kids are doing it is because of daddy's money and because they can get up, they can, be on the water 7 days a week. Seriously. John G., I'm 63 and didn't start fishing kayak till 2 years ago. I still have tons to learn, and I learn something different each and every tournament. And you got out there and you're going for it. Trey Crenshaw, life is a series of decisions. I feel like I've done more after 40 personally and professionally than I did prior because I was comfortable, complacent, and scared. You know what? And I said this last week. When somebody comes in this shop, and I don't care who it is, and they start the conversation with this, or it comes out, well, I worry about it, my brain turns off. My brain turns off. This all right here might be the dumbest decision I've ever made in my life, but I ain't going to find out till I do it. So for me, I want to learn and get better with the old school tactics before venturing into forward-facing sonar. Then do it. Think about that all the time you hear pros say that it takes sacrifice to make it. The fishing entrepreneur, if you don't quit, you can't fail. 100%. I know you took a pay cut. I just paid for an HVAC system. Doc, you know it. Listen, and it's a heck of a lot more expensive now than what it was when I got out of it. It's crazy expensive. But my point is this. Is just my anger, so to speak. Maybe it's not anger. Maybe it's just disdain, haughty derision, however you want to say it. It's at guys that are my age. They make up that excuse. I got a job. I got a wife. So you chose to have a job. I know what you're saying, Farmer. I just like to say, and I know you weren't exactly doing what these guys that I'm mad at, or not really mad at, upset with, or I don't even know. Just I feel sorry for them. You weren't exactly going that, but the way you kind of worded some of the stuff, it's what kind of leads into what a lot of these guys will say. Okay. Yeah, and a lot of guys too, Titus Swim, pros. A lot of pros are in debt, guys. They are in debt big time. But you know what? They're going for the dream. Being a professional angler is not the glory for most of them that a lot of people think it's made out to be. You got to be that 1%, 2%. But it doesn't matter. Every single one of them's got this uncommon desire to succeed. And if they don't, they're gone. There are no excuses, just results. Okay, so Alex, you're a good point. I got a wife and a toddler and a full-time job, and I still find time to do the live well and get on the water 3 to 4 times a week. You do. And listen, let's go ahead and say this. For those that are married, it does take a good spouse to make it easier to do that. If you married a spouse, I'm going to get crushed for this. If you married a spouse that doesn't push you to dream and go for it, you may have married the wrong person. You may have married the wrong person. Not saying your marriage won't work, not saying you couldn't, but it just, that person right there might not be suitable for your dreams as far as to go like that, to go off and try new things. I'm not saying get divorced. I'm not saying that. You guys hold on. Probably a good thing that all of a sudden the TikTok thing pops up that 1 hour in, and I got to reset this so I can actually take a breath. But you guys get what I'm saying. I mean, it's like serious. It takes a special person to push somebody to chase their dreams. It just does. All right, one more thing, and we're back. No, not templates. Live. There we go. Resume. There we go. All right, we're back on TikTok. That means you've married someone that's scared of your success because you may leave them. Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you guys to go get divorced. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about y'all, but it really ticks me off when I don't catch them good. Like, that's my motivation to go back and figure them out. Sure, I get ill. Steve Pinkston, my buddy Steve. Steve's nuts. If you've never had Steve's nuts in your mouth, you need to get some. They're really good. I'm just telling you, they're really good. People said I'd never make it in the nut business. 20 years later, and I'm still here. Now, when I say Steve's nuts, guys, are these pecans with like cinnamon and sugar and all that all over them. They're fantastic, but it's always fun to say that. It's always not a good convo to join in on. You just got, if you guys have been watching the live well long enough, you to know that's a very common thing. And every once in a while he comes up here and we got a bag of Steve's nuts right here in front of us. And we're just eating them. And we always like, man, Steve's nuts are great. In this game, it takes a good group of people to make it. It's like Swindle says, you only see what the result is of 20 years of grinding. And I'd rather lose in practice than than win. I bet you do, Nick D says. But again, I just don't like. I asked those guys last night, how does it feel when guys my age and all that say you can't catch fish without a cheater box, or you can't catch fish that, and then chomp on these. Is Steve the guy outside of Bass Pro selling pecans? That is him. That is his business. You need to try some. They're amazing. And Steve, I want 10% of all sales for the next week. Try some. But I asked, and Brody Robinson, not Robin, Robinson, he said, this was his answer, because it sucks. It sucks when people kind of do that. But I asked him later on, we asked, how much time do you spend on the water? How much time do you spend on the water? And I think it was Brody that said he has been home 2 weekends, or it was during the tournament. That's what it was. When all the tournaments are going from January to June or whatever it is. How much time do you spend on the water? How much time like he said, I was only home 2 weekends. The rest of the time's on the water. I guarantee you, Trey McKinney, after I text him and all that, if I'd have said, hey, what are you doing? I guarantee you, I could ask him to do a podcast. He would have said, dude, I'm fishing. He'll go straight to the next one. They put in the time. Now, Farmer, I understand you're not willing to lose time with your kids to chase the dream, and that's on you. You won't ever catch me hating on someone that chose otherwise. Here's what I'm saying, Farmer, is that before you got married and had kids, had you wanted to chase that dream, that would have been the time to do it. But you fell in love, have a beautiful family, and you shouldn't lose time with your kids. 100%. I agree with you. And it's not on you. And that's not a bad thing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these 18 and 19-year-old kids don't have that yet. They don't have those relationships. And you got all these old guys out here saying, well, because I do, I can't play with them anymore. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you made a bad decision. You outpunted your coverage. I don't know how you got your wife. And I love your kids. They come in here when they're tearing up the store. I love every minute of it. Your wife chasing them around like something's going to get broke. I'm like, they'll be fine. Let them go. Let them go. I'd much rather have your kids up here tearing my store up. Never bothers me a bit. It's like people that fuss about a kid crying at church, baby crying at church. I'd rather be at church and hear all the babies crying than them not be there and the parents not be there. So, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the 18 and 19-year-olds before you got to that point in your life. Had you wanted to be pro, that would have been the time to do it. And I believe had that been what you wanted in your heart, you would have took off and you'd have put everything you had into it, which is what these kids are doing now. And then we got people out here all over the place just trying to tear them down for doing that. It's ridiculous. There's my soapbox for the day. I didn't mean to it, but I was like, I woke up not feeling good. I'm ill. And that was on my mind. I was like, you know what? And I know a lot of these guys personally. And I just want to go up to them and just go, what are you doing? Because I'll tell you here's another way to look at it. When you say something like, I have to spend time with my wife, we ain't talking about kids. I have to spend time with my wife. Now you're making your wife as an excuse for you not being able to do something. When you say, I have to spend time with my wife, why would you say have to? I'm just saying. I have to work. I have to cut grass. I have to spend time with my wife. I have to adult. That's just not the way I would see it. That's just not the way I would see things. That's just the way other guys. And as I get older, we did talk about this last night. As I get older, I think because I hang around a lot of young guys and I see all that, see you, Tracy, and I see all what these kids are doing, it makes me feel younger. It makes me 100% feel younger. And to see them, like, I'm like, when we lost to Cooper and Hayden Seabolt, I'm telling you what, I went into that tournament knowing that those two guys, 18 years old, 17, 18 years old, whatever they are, maybe 19, knowing that was a team to beat. That's the standard on Lake Lanier right now because they bust their butts and they fish like crazy. And I knew, and Kevin knew going in, that, hey, that's who we're going to compete against. And then when we got beat by them, when we went to that weigh-in and they pulled out that almost 16 pounds of fish, there wasn't a bit of jealousy in my heart. It was like, oh, we got our butts kicked. We got our butts kicked. But I was happy to see them catch those fish. I like weigh-ins because I like to see what everybody else is catching. And when somebody brings a big bag or big fish to a scale, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. That's 100% awesome. Now, wait a second, Farmer. Professional fishing was a dream, but an unrealistic dream. Nothing but support for those that feel like they can make it. When I was 17, 18, I was on the water a lot, 5 to 6 days a week. I'm going to ask you a tough question, Farmer. What made it unrealistic? What made it unrealistic? And maybe there's some things in life that did make it unrealistic. But honestly, everything is a choice in life. Some harder or easier than others, 100%. But what made it unrealistic? Was it people telling you needed to go this direction like it was with me? Being a lawyer was unrealistic because everybody said I didn't need it. Well, money. But listen, that's nothing. You know what? It takes money to make money. I agree. But those guys that make it, those guys that get out there are hustling. They're hustling. And they're not afraid to be told no because, trust me, I get told no all the time. But you got to keep on, keep on. If you are crazy and you got that kind of, again, uncommon desire, you will find a way. Or you will die trying. You will die trying. But it can be done. If you got, look at it this way. Look at it right now. If you got fishing ability and you go out and you start winning local tournaments, okay, money and people telling me the other way is the route to success. So it was a realistic dream, but like me, you listen to somebody else's dream and somebody else's thought for your life. We're guilty. We're both guilty. And I love you, but we're guilty of it. But if you're a good-looking kid, you can catch fish, you can speak well, and you start winning some local tournaments, people notice. People notice. And then you get one sponsor, two sponsor, whatever. You get on Facebook, you work that social media, and you do all the things that you got to do, and the next person notices it. And then you move up to the next level. You get an invite. Somebody offers to pay for one tournament. You take those chances. It can happen. I'm basically a millionaire from all my weekend electronic-only tournament winnings. Hey, listen, I say this too. Unless you're a pro, if you're paying your mortgage, or you need the money from tournament winnings on Lake Lanier or Hickory Log or whatever to pay your mortgage, you might not need to be fishing. Uncommon, not uncommon, unpopular thought. But yeah, ain't nobody around here doing that. Low, I do it all for fun and bragging rights. Money I use for new baits and line. Just love fishing. That's the only reason I fish. I have no professional aspirations. Professional anglers are sponsor panhandlers. Hey, listen though, that's the game. That's the game. You got to know the game to play it. But let me ask you this. I'll tell you the truth. If somebody came in here and told me, hey, listen, I want you to go fish. I'm going to pay for you to fish 7 tournaments. I need you to wear this shirt, and I need you to do 5 social media posts, this, that, and I'm going to give you X amount of dollars. If that X amount of dollars is right, I'm going to do it because that's the game we play. You have to understand, a professional angler in and of himself is a business. They're all incorporated. They are all incorporated. They can deduct their gas. They can do all this. They are a business. When you see Jordan Lee is the name of that business. So he's taking money from one business. He's throwing it out there to try to raise money for that business. Coleman's 100% right. That's it. That's how it's played. Now, if we all just want to go out and for fun, just fish and bragging rights, that's different. But when it comes to being a professional, that's the name of the game. And some people don't like it, and I get it. And I can tell you what, I've never bought a single product because a professional angler recommended it. I just haven't. Now, what they tell me behind the scenes, that's different. But like on a commercial or something, I take that back. That's a lie. That's a lie. There's one instance. I am a huge Dale Jr. fan. When Dale Jr. was running the Budweiser number 8, the only beer I would drink was Budweiser. When Dale Jr. left the number 8, I quit drinking Budweiser. So, do pros make so I'm kind of guilty of that. Do pros make prices increase on everything? I don't know. I don't think the pro has anything. When you say price increase, are you talking about like a bait? Is that what you're talking about? Because I would say absolutely not. If that's what you're talking about, absolutely not. The prices are set by corporate, and they have a budget for marketing. The pros, if they get anything, they get out of that marketing budget. Now, if their marketing budget for a given company is $25 million, maybe they do, and that's to pay for, say, one angler. Maybe they do have to raise the prices. But I would say 96% of the time, no. I don't think the pros have anything to do. And just take you guys are doing those things again. Just take you disagree? Okay, Patricia, tell me why you disagree. We'll debate that before we go today. Why do you think pros make prices increase on everything? I am genuinely curious because I have got to hear this. And here's why, because I deal with companies every day. So I deal with these companies that sell these things. I'm very curious as to see why you think pros make prices increase. And we'll have a good straight up, not, a very mature discussion. I want to see your point of view as to why you think that. Everyone sees the stage, checks, and trophies and don't realize the business side that goes along with it. Brendan Glover. I know it. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'd also, I don't think they make the prices increase. It's just that they catch a fish on a lure and everyone, the pro scene is a business. It has its own impact to go along with it. And everyone wants that lure. Right. I get that. But I know Brazalo's, when Brazalo's had that spinnerbait that won the Sabine, the Elite on Sabine, he didn't raise his prices because all of a sudden the demand went up. He just told him, hey, look, you guys are going to have to wait. I can only make them so much at a time. KVD and Strike King baits. Okay, that's your example. Tell me how Strike King baits went up and how KVD was the cause of it. Because you said the pros make prices increase. Pros don't set a price on anything. But I'm curious to see. Yeah, it's a buzzbait. Did I say spinnerbait farmer buzzbait? Brazalo's. I mean, I want an example because I think we can discuss it better. But also, though, they sometimes get theirs from a company and not handmade, and they see everyone's buying the lures. Yeah, and listen, a lot of pros don't throw what they're sponsored by. KVD made the company Strike King popular. Zero to do with price. That's what Jeremy Conkright said. Emil convinced me to buy hitworms, but they work. No. Listen, there's some truth to that. It's not necessarily the pros that raise the prices, but the marketing team behind them. Galerian Corsola, I hope I said that right, 1998 on TikTok. Appreciate you being here, dude. I said dude. I should have said dude. Appreciate you being here. You never know behind the name. I'm assuming you're a dude. But if you're not, I apologize. Usually the KVD stuff has better hooks components. That's true, but how did KVD make the price go up? I mean, I'm telling you, there's not an angler in this world, with the exception of maybe KVD. The public buys the products of the winners, not the losers. Okay, but how did that make the price go up? You said pros make the price go up. The only way that I can see the price going up is on a secondary market, because I can tell you most of the companies have MAP pricing. So a thing costs, I'm a dude, no worries at all. Okay, good. You never know, dude. You never know. Most of the companies have a product coming out. They set it at $7.99. Let's just say $7.99. And they have X amount of stock they're going to make. It does not matter. That product has already been in development before any of this win and lose and think of those. They don't make a bait without knowing how many they're going to make, what they're going to charge for it. They've done testing. They've done all that stuff. And so now somebody goes out and they win a tournament with it. It has zero to do with it. The pros can increase, decrease the demand due to winning or losing, but not the price. And so that's what I'm trying to say. Now listen, I will say this. Let's say Strike King put out 20,000 of bait X, and they sell 20,000 of bait X. That's all they produce that year. Somebody wins like the last tournament of the year. They're already sold out, but somebody wins a tournament. Now, on the secondary market, your eBays, your eBays and all that, then the price might go up because now it's supply and demand. But there's not a bait company out there that doesn't, we're talking major bait companies. Now, if it's a one of one or an extremely limited run, the prices can be a lot more volatile. I agree with you. I'm talking about, I'm still here. It's like the day I'm pulling the Michael Jordan flu game. Remember me telling you guys, I do not feel good, but we're going. We're powering through. It's my Michael Jordan flu game episode. Corporate sets prices. Marketing teams have a lot to do with it too, but there's maybe one or two anglers. Look at what the FFS minnows have done to the tackle industry thanks to Wheeler. You evolve or you die. Right? I mean, seriously, ain't that the way it works? If the minnow is a hot thing, I don't think that's a Jacob Wheeler thing. One thing pros do have a large hand in, though, is innovation. I agree. But forward-facing sonar, here's the thing, though. There are a lot more guys, and Lake Lanier is very heavy forward-facing sonar lake, okay? A lot of guys are throwing your minnows, but a ton of them are throwing your flukes that were here before forward-facing sonar. They're throwing drop shots, and they're throwing shaky heads with forward-facing sonar. See you, Erwin. So when you hear the word minnow is just a big thing for the whole thing. I'm just telling you, the last 3 guys that I have fished with that had forward-facing sonar were throwing flukes. How long has the fluke been out? I think that's just kind of the thing. What happened is every company decided, hey, we got to have a certain style bait to try to get in there. But I've got some companies, minnows on the wall, and they don't move. I kind of disagree with you. I appreciate where you're coming from with that. I do appreciate you. And it is an interesting topic of discussion. But I'm just telling you right now that the fluke has been out a lot longer than forward-facing sonar. And most people around here, they'll throw a fluke-style bait. Whether they want to admit to it or not, they always will come back to the fluke. But that didn't change. Now, I will say this as a shop owner. There are things that don't sell as good anymore, 100%. But the companies that have these baits, like spinner baits, jigs, and all that, they just, hey, we're not going to change our business approach. Go mow the grass, buddy. I love you, farmer. They don't change their business approach. They continue doing the same thing week after week after week. And then they're wondering, okay, well, why ain't our stuff selling? You got to innovate. Flukes catch fish everywhere. Yeah, they do. But you got to innovate a little bit. You got to innovate a little bit. I get it. I know what you're saying. I can't disagree with you on every part. I do disagree with you on saying that the pros cause price increases because the pros have zero to do. The pros can cause demand. Lack of or good. Do you remember when the Japanese Honda 4-stroke bankrupted OMC, Evinrude, Mariner, and Johnson? Okay, what about it? Seriously. Did Evinrude, Mariner, and Johnson evolve? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking you. Most businesses don't go out of business because, well, let me rephrase that before I say that. I love a good fluke. Yeah, good fluke. If you had a tackle store, I'll tell you this. I'll use our tackle store. I'll use this. Let me tell you how you evolve and how you have to change a little bit. I cannot compete because I have a very small shop. Our goal is to make money behind the cameras. They doubled in price. Supply and demand, though. That's supply and demand. That ain't a pro angler causing that. You know, what about TVs? When all these new TVs came out, they used to cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and then over time they come down. But like here at our shop, I can't compete with the Tackle Warehouse down the street or online. Hammond's has got the best selection of any daggum tackle shop in the state when it comes to all your name brand stuff, and you got others like that. We're turning ours into a little more of like a boutique style thing, a little bit different. Gonna have a lot of smaller companies. We are having to adapt and change when it comes to the tackle shop. How many guys that do you see now that had tackle shops are now hiring people to do their social media for them? There's some around here. They have to hire a guy to do their social media because you know what? Now they're saying this is the way the game's going. We've got to have this. You got to adapt. Every business has to adapt at some point. And if your business has been making just jigs and nothing but jigs here lately, you probably have hurt because of the menace. But what did you do to make your business better? That's the big thing. Listen, and hey, when a product comes out, if it's a lot better than another one's, it might bankrupt some other people. But I would say that's just because they didn't adapt. We've been doing the same thing for 85 years. This is who we are. Well, who you are doesn't work now. But anyway, Patricia Aunt Leanne Shaw, I love you, dude. Or you, her, I don't know. I should say that again. I'm just glad you're here. Sometimes husbands get on their wives, and I don't know. So I don't know if you are Patricia or if you're Patricia's friend. If you're Patricia, I love you. If you're Patricia's significant other, love you. Either way, I'm glad you come. I like the discussion. And you know what? I'm big enough to say I could be 100% wrong on everything I said today. And if I am, I apologize. It's just what's on my mind. It's just the way it goes. But with that being said, Bassmaster was 150 horsepower max now. It changed. It changed. The boats changed. 4-stroke was also an advancement in boat tech. Yeah, the boats changed. Could you see a Bass Cat, a brand new Bass Cat with a 150 on it, a 21 footer or something? It ain't gonna push it. I mean, they'll push it, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Things change. People change. Things change. We're always changing. Yeah. Me and my wife are going to make a trip down there to see you one of these days. That's a promise or a threat. Come on, buddy. Now, Skeeter Crosby. Now, tackle is going up 15% for what a rep told me. He sent out an email to all of his stores. Yeah, I'm Kitech's jumping. Skeeter Kitech, I got the email. Don't be hating on us 150 boys now. I'm not hating on you. But you know that if you had the choice, and you were in a tournament, you'd be throwing that 250 on there, 300 if you can get away with it. But you are right. Now that is tariffs and all that for sure. Tackle's getting ready to go up, even if it's made here in America, because components come from overseas. They're going to have to bite the bullet. So, but yeah, you're 100% right. I know I got an email from Kitech that said, and it's basically going to be a 20%. a 20% increase on Kitex. If I read that correctly, I could be wrong. But there are, and I've talked to a couple guys. Before I go, I got to say this. There are a couple companies out there, and I don't even remember which ones they are, but there are a couple companies out there that have products for your common guy all the way up to top of the line stuff. Okay? If you pay attention, their top of the line stuff, because they don't sell as much of it, they're not going to be increasing the price there. Here's where they're screwing the common man. Though that money is going to be made down at the bottom. Your $100 rods, your $150 combos, those are going to have the biggest price increases. But your $500, $600 rod, you won't see it there. That's how a lot of companies, pay attention to them. That's how a lot of these bigger companies are going to do. Because, number one, the volume is down here with the common guy. The volume is not on the extreme top of their price range. It takes a 250 because of the 4-stroke weight. It might take a 250. I get it. But a lot of these companies, if you pay attention, if they haven't already raised their prices, look at their prices now. Look at their prices in 4 months. Look at the top of the line stuff. If they got $500, $600, $700 rods and stuff, and then look at their $150 combos. Some of those $150 combos, their price not only is going to go up 20% to cover the tariff or whatever it is, but it's also going to go up an additional percentage point because they're covering the expensive stuff. The expensive stuff's not going to go up. Perfect way to tell my wife I need to buy the high-end stuff. 100%. Tell her, hey, listen, it's tariff-free. But watch it. And I've even seen some of it where we're talking $200 and less. $200 and less. Some of that stuff's going to jump up 35%. And I've even seen as high as 39%. 20% tariff. 35% price increase. Why? Because that $800 rod is not getting a price increase. They're going to sell more down here. And that's how they're going to make up for not raising that price. You guys pay attention to this stuff. Listen, it all comes down to the dollar bill. And it ain't no conspiracy theory. It's like, hey, listen, we sell 1,000 of these and we sell 5 of those. We can cover it with these 1,000. Facebook Marketplace for the win, or you can bring it here to Fish North Georgia and put it in our consignment section. We will do it that way. Pay attention to it. And that's the thing. A lot of guys don't pay attention to that. They just say, oh, man, they don't see what companies do and how they'll try to manipulate little things. And it's business. There's nothing illegal about it. But just pay attention to see the fine print, the little details. It's very, very interesting to see how it works. And it will be interesting to see how it affects these smaller companies. We ain't talking about the Strike Kings of the world or the Berkeleys, Pure Fish, and all that. We're talking about your middle-sized companies, your mom and pop startups. I tie jigs. We put Gamakatsu hooks in our jigs. They're going to go up. I mean, and be honest. Listen, you guys that are paying $8, $9 for a jig. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, there's probably $2 if that in the jig. I know it's a shocker, but that's just the truth. There ain't a lot of money in jigs before it gets to this person or that person, and then you pay the final price. But anyway, just pay attention to it. So anyway, sorry for the long rant today. I've been going an hour and a half, and I'm ready to go home and go to sleep. Man, I appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at 12. Hopefully I'll be in a better mood. I just feel like garbage, guys. If I can ask before you get off, where did you get that hat? I love it. So this hat is Wicked Fly. Okay? Wicked Fly. So they are a fly fishing rod company out of Arizona. Okay? That deer was shot about 15 minutes from this shop, Michael Teague. But we started carrying their fly rods. And actually, if you go to wkd.fly.com, check these out. I believe it's the Origin series. The Origin series. Let me double check my notes. I want to make sure I tell you guys correctly. I think it's the Origin series. Yep, Origin series. If you type in, if you decide you want to buy one of these, if you type in FNGO at checkout, you save $120. And these are high-end fly rods. They're very good. And if you're into that game, they're very good. There we go. He typed, WKDfly.com. Josh, get off the thing. He's typing in stuff behind me. I need to come see you to get an order together to rig out your kayak. My kayak needs to be rigged out. It's going to kill the garage builder. I don't even know what that means. Jeremy, I missed that one. But anyway, so yeah, go check them out. Josh actually fished with the 3-weight the other day. He said he absolutely loved it. Cotton tungsten out of Alabama's USA. 100% made, no imported parts. Where are we located? Marble Hill, Georgia. Halfway between Dawsonville and Jasper on Highway 53. Address is 11262 Highway 53, Marble Hill, Georgia, 30148. I got to ask you a question about that, Mike, and you please correct me if I'm wrong. When I talk to several other companies, there are no tungsten melting facilities in the United States. That most of your tungsten is melted in Germany, China. This is what I've been told. Now, they may get the tungsten and put it together. Tell me if I'm wrong, because if they have the ability to melt tungsten, because it's not like lead, you got to get that. You got to have a special setup, and we ain't talking about something we can do here in the shop. To melt tungsten, you got to have a setup, like professional, big-time setup. So if I'm wrong, please let me know, because that's what I have been told by countless amount of people, including some people over at Picasso. I've been told that it came from Germany or it comes from China. That here in the United States, we don't have any plant that has the ability to melt tungsten to make the balls. And I hope I'm wrong with that. It would be nice to have it made here in the United States. Let me know if I'm wrong. Seriously, Mike. I'm very curious now. They're great companies, though. But let me know on that, if you don't mind. Because that's just what I've been told. That's just what I've been told. Temu has cheap tungsten, just FYI, my go-to for weights. Now, if I'm going to buy it, I'll try to buy American. I get it. Don't buy no hooks off Temu. Because listen, what's up, Chris? When COVID was going on and you couldn't get skirt material, I actually set up an Alibaba account, which is basically your Chinese Amazon over there. And I bought directly from the manufacturer over there. But they also made tungsten jig heads, all these kind of things, and they would send me samples. The problem was you couldn't get the hook you wanted in there. So you had to have their hook in there, and the hooks were not good. Tungsten is tungsten, I guess. But as far as, if you get something from over there, I bought some minnows off Temu one time, and those jokers are as thick as a toothpick. I ain't never bought anything off Temu, but I know my wife has. I have never bought anything off of Temu. Wouldn't even know where to look. But I would just say this. That's what I got told, Mike Geiger. So please, if I am wrong, 100% correct me so I don't say that anymore. Let me know if you can about that. You guys try to find that out. 100%. So anyway, now, all right, I think my head is throbbing about as much as it can go. I'm gonna end it right now. Great conversation today. Appreciate you guys letting me get on my soapbox and fuss a little bit. Tomorrow I will be in a better mood. I promise. I'm not in a bad mood, but I'll be in a better mood tomorrow. Again, this is my Michael Jordan flu game. So, but I appreciate all you guys in the comments. You guys make this job so easy. You guys on TikTok, a lot of people coming in and out over there. We'll be back tomorrow at 12. And then tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we'll do a live well. And I will figure out the rest of the day and in the morning what tomorrow's live well. But it'll always be great. One of these days, it might just be me right here and Tim over there running the thing. You never know. I know Father Time won't be here. His mother is up from Florida, and he's going to take her gambling. All right, he's going to take her up to Harrah's up in North Carolina, and he's going to take his mother to have some good time because they got Thornton money, and they're going to throw some Thornton money around like that. But I appreciate you guys watching. You guys, hey, listen, it's hump day. Let's get through today. We'll come back. Cherokee and Murphy, I would say probably Murphy. It's closer to this side of the state. From my shop, I can be in Murphy. I can be at the hour and 5, maybe hour 10, depending on the cop traffic. You know what I'm saying? But you guys have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Get through the day. Enjoy your time. And listen, go for it. Don't make no excuses. We'll see you on the next one. Now I got to hit the buttons now. Oh, this mouse doesn't work that good. There we go. See you, YouTube.